Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. I say welcome again to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. And the topic I want to cover today, this is obviously some more military content, is military skills desired by every employer. I'll say it again, military skills desired by every employer. And where I had gotten the idea from, this is an article that I had briefly read and skimmed through, and it's on Indeed.com, and the article is written by a Lori Norris, and so I'll leave the article link in the description if you decide that you want to check it out. But basically, the gist of it. Um, they're talking about 12 skills that the military teaches that you can put on any resume. And if any of you had followed any of my previous videos, I had mentioned I did a video that was about master your craft in the military, in which I talked about whatever job you do, make sure that you learn it and do it to the best of your ability and perfect it. And some of the jobs in the military, they may not necessarily have a civilian counterpart to transfer over to, but you can take the skills that you learn in any job or what you learn in the military, and you can take those with you into the civilian world. And so, in the article, she goes on to give the actual 12 skills, in which I actually concur with it. But I'm gonna make this brief because I don't want to make this too long. But yeah, these are skills that every employer definitely desires, and obviously, number one would be communication. Now, obviously, we know that communication is important because you have to work with others, and how are you going to be able to get the mission accomplished if if you can't communicate and coordinate? How are you going to get the operation done? And there are different types of communication in the military. Obviously, you have peer to peer. Then you're going to have communication with your chain of command, for those that are above you in authority and leadership. And then even if you outrank or have subordinates, you're going to have downward communication. So this is a skill that needs to be mastered or perfected, because as long as you are in the military, you are always going to need to communicate with other people in order to get it done. The military is a outfit that functions, on being team oriented. No man is an island. And so we have to rely on each other and your comrade at arms in order to get the job done, or your coworkers, so to speak. Next, obviously, is going to be adaptability in the face of adversity, and I definitely agree with that. And that is definitely, I can think of an easy example, going on deployments, or say to combat zones, or even going to different environments. If you're from the United States and you're in the military, serving abroad, in a different country that has a different culture and different history, and just has a different way of thinking and different way of doing things. That's one example. Other examples of being adaptable in the military is when if you're serving on deployments, and let's say you may have conditions where you may have to go like a bear base, with civil engineering for the Air Force, and the Navy Seabees and the Devil Dogs and the Marine Corps and the Army Corps of Engineers. And I think that I forgot what it is for the Coast Guard, but when you have to build a temporary base from scratch, and you have to live in certain austere conditions. Maybe you don't have hot water yet, so you have to basically bathe in cold water, or whatever, cold water showers. But in the military, you have to be adaptable, because every situation in which you're going to serve in, it may not always be convenient, like it is, say, on the civilian side here in America. you know, and you have to be able to adapt in different conditions in order to get the job done. And you are definitely taught this. This actually begins from basic training, in which they put you in different scenarios and they change things up. It's to prepare you for life in the military with the, with the different changes and how you're going to handle adversity, which most of it actually is mental. Most of it is mental, but obviously there are physical aspects. What happens when you say if the dining facility or um, the the individuals that are, say, the cooks, in the chow hall, whatever like that. What if they haven't set the kitchen up yet, or a field kitchen? If they haven't set it up yet, you got to eat MREs. Or what if you have to eat, if you're on a foreign base and you have to eat what the local cuisine that is there? I've been through that before when I had a deployment to Jordan, and they didn't have the United States military hadn't set up their kitchen yet, on that base. So we wind up eating at the chow hall or dining facility that the Geordie cooks, were cooking, and we wound up eating their food. But it's either that or you're gonna eat MREs, meals ready to eat. So, you know, you take, hey, anything beats having an empty stomach, but you have to be adaptable in the face of adversity. Combat zones are definitely that. When things are uncomfortable, maybe your sleeping arrangements, you know, and in the military, it's kind of like Rome. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Okay, flexibility. In the armed forces, you must be flexible because different things are constantly changing. Sometimes it could be the operations tempo, depending on what base you go to, what command you're serving under, and also depends on um, what the needs are or the mission is for any particular unit or that particular base. You know, you have to be flexible because people in the military move around a lot, and so you're not always going to have the same supervisor. People they PCS to different duty stations. People finish their career in the military, so that brings about change. People are constantly moving in and out, so you have to be flexible and adapt to new leadership. And also, when your branch of service, when they decide to mandate changes, you have to be ready to adapt and move along with that change, or else they basically gonna wind up separating you if you don't adapt or you're not flexible. So those are just some quick examples. Fourth, the ability to problem solve. You have to be prepared to solve problems in the military. And the one thing that I noticed about the armed forces that I think is different in most cases from the civilian side, I think the military takes young men and young women and it kind of grows them up a bit faster. They provide environments or scenarios with different type of challenges and situations that on the civilian side you probably might not come across, or you may not come across it as fast. So what that does is forces you to think and to be creative in how you get things done, so long as you get it done within the regulations. There's nothing wrong with some creativity, so long as it's done within the regs. Let's see. Next is technical skills. Obviously, you need technical skills because that right there entails what you do on the job. So you need to have those skills down pat and know your job. Because when if you decide, that you're gonna get out the military, whatever job you're applying for, the employer is gonna want to know what type of skills you have and how good you are at them. It's one thing to have technical skills, but what level are you on? On certain, even with certain federal resumes, they'll ask you, what I'm saying, are you an expert? What I'm saying, are you like in what do they call it? It's if you're in the middle, there's different levels. Or either if you're totally inexperienced, you don't have experience, doing this particular type of work. and they'll ask you that, and I'm quite sure on other resumes they do also. But your technical expertise, and that ties back into my last video about mastering your craft in the military, mastering your skills. Putting in the time and extra time to get the technical expertise, so that way you are knowledgeable mentally, but you also have the hands-on experience to actually do the work itself. You could do it in real time. Obviously, next is integrity, and that right there is a trait that is desirable by any employer. Nobody wants someone that is dishonest, and in the military, if you are caught, they will definitely penalize you for your dishonesty. But socially, there's a penalty for that. If your comrade at arms finds you to be dishonest, then who's really going to want to work with you? And you never know who you're going to need. So it would behoove you not to be Slim Shady. Have a character that that is reputable. Have integrity. You can't integrity is something that you can't buy. That's basically in your character. And you definitely want to have a good name before people. If people find out that you don't have any integrity, you're going to have a bad reputation, and you're going to have a harder time making it in the military, because nobody's going to trust you or believe you. So integrity is definitely something that is valuable in the military and to any employer on the outside. Integrity. You're honest. You're trustworthy. People can believe you and count on you. All right. Let's go with the next one. Teamwork. And as is obvious, I said before, the military is an outfit, or that is designed for teams. No man or woman is an island. You know, it is part of, I guess you say, the military machine, or the unit, and how it functions and operates. All pieces are cogs on the wheel, but each one has to be functioning and know their role and do it to the best of their ability, so that the unit can have mission accomplishment and be successful. If one member doesn't operate or function like they should, then what that causes problems, for the team. So you can't. One thing they break you down in the military, starting with basic training, is being, I guess, if you want to say, selfish minded, thinking for you. And what you learn in basic is that if the whole team doesn't make it or succeed, you might have done well individually, but you get held back with the rest of the team. Your team you failed. So it forces you to figure out how to work with others that have different ranges and ability, and you learn how to work and coordinate your talents, together, and look after each other. If one person fails, it doesn't matter if the other 49 make it. The whole team has failed. So it's team oriented. Next up, leadership. And leadership is definitely valuable in and out of the military. And like I said before, that the one thing I did like about the military is that they take young men and women, and they expose them to different scenarios, and that give them a chance at leadership, at a young age. And if you take advantage of it, they can develop that, in that individual. Now, obviously, there are some people that are more prone to leadership because of their maybe their A-type personality, but in the military, anybody can be a leader. Leaders, regardless of personality type, they come in all shapes and sizes. And the military will definitely afford you the opportunities to take on leadership and actually to learn the leadership role. And the key thing first, before becoming a leader, you got to be a good follower. But they will definitely provide you with the opportunities to learn and master those skills, and that is valuable. Organization. Organization and discipline go hand in hand. So you got to be you have to be organized, because in the armed forces, sometimes and many times you have to wear many different hats. On the civilian side, you get paid for every job that you do, or most of them you're supposed to. But in the military, they might have you doing 9 other things that are not necessarily job related, but it falls under the umbrella. So you have to wear, different hats. I'll give you a good example. As on the outside, if I'm a civilian supervisor, I don't have to worry about my subordinates' finances. That's their problem. Doesn't reflect on me. In the military, if I have troops that are up under me and they're having financial difficulties, leadership is going to come to me and ask me what's going on, with so and so, and I have to be ready to provide an answer, and then also be able to come up with a solution after I've counseled the subordinate, on how to handle their finances, and see what I can do to get them some help. So in the military, they kind of force you to get involved in some capacity, in your subordinate's life. Not all personal, but to a certain degree. If they failed their PT test, they're coming looking for that supervisor to find out why are your troops failing their physical fitness test, and then from there, it's going to be escalated through the chain of command and all, and it's a process. So you kind of have to, and those of you that are in leadership positions in the military, sometimes you gotta carry some handkerchief or tissues because you gotta wipe snotty noses. you know but yeah, but you have to be organized, in the military, because you may have to do several different tasks that are outside of your actual technical expertise, but it's under the umbrella of the military, so that's part of the job. Next is compliance, and you guys know in the military, they will make you comply. Discipline is part of the job. I'm laughing, about that one, but definitely in the military, we learn how to follow and obey rules, and also obey lawful orders. And so, civilian employers, they greatly desire that, and they like that trait and attribute in veterans, or people that come or have served in the military, because they know we're disciplined and that we know how to take orders and follow rules. You know, in the military, you're not going to run around like some loose cannon. You know, not without paying a price, and then eventually, possibly after they punish you, they might get rid of you. So you have to comply with lawful orders. You have to obey Uniform Code of Military Justice and whatever the particular regulations are in your particular branch of service, and whatever post or base or whatever you're serving at. But we are definitely taught to obey and follow policy and regulations. So compliance. Next is strategic planning. And I would say a lot of this, in a way, the officer corps really would be good, for strategic planning, because that is how they function from the strategic level. But in the military, obviously, you have to have a plan. Before you can carry out your mission, you have to have a plan or a strategy. You know, and some of that strategy is like, how you're going to use the tools and resources that are at your disposal. What and that encompasses, people, machines, the logistics of it. You know, how do you use exactly what is at your disposal within the regulations or the rules. So strategic planning is necessary. And lastly, is dedication. And we all know that the military, serving in the armed forces, is serving your country, and it is not like a regular job, because it is a commitment, and you swear under oath to serve your country and to defend it, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But it's a commitment, and um, you are required, once you swear under oath and sign that contract, you are required to finish your time of service, however long it is. And employers look at that, and what they see, they see dedication, commitment, and they see loyalty. And that is something, especially, you see this great resignation going on. Employers definitely valuing their employees that are loyal to the company and are going to stay with them. Because nowadays most people don't really stick with a job, for like 20 years or long term anymore. They might maybe a couple of years and they switch to something else. But they look at dedication, but in the military, dedication and commitment, it's bigger than you, you know. The mission is bigger than you, and in the armed forces the mission comes first, but dedication and commitment with integrity, to what you do. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for this one, and I'll leave the link to the article in the description. And I want to thank you guys for taking time out to listen to me on this Friday. I hope everybody's safe. We're gonna have a good weekend. And the name of my channel is Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please smash the bell to become subscribed. Smash the like button to like the video. Smash the unlike button if you don't like it. And if you like or unlike it, please leave a comment. I would like to dialogue with you. Maybe there's something I missed, or maybe you have something that you'd like to add. Everyone has a right to be heard, and everyone has something to share. I also have a podcast called Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS. And you can find my podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Spreaker, Acast, SoundCloud, Radio PBM, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and a host of other social media platforms. So please subscribe to Snacks Thoughts as well, and Eric Brothers YouTube. And also, I am teaching courses on Skillshare, how to succeed in the military, leadership, diversity, among other subjects. So I'll leave that link in the description as well. And join me on Join Skillshare. All right, guys. But thanks, guys, for listening. And please push them out. Snacks Thoughts and Eric Brothers you to push them out. Share them. Friends, family, enemies, frenemies, cats, bats, goats, dogs. Share them and push them out, guys. All right. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon on the next one. Peace.